Oilers Live Podcast. Oilers Live Podcast. Oilers Live Podcast. Oilers Live Podcast.
Now, get ready to talk hockey. Streaming from the Oilers Live Studio. Subscribe or follow today.
Hey, it's Michael here, Oilers Live with Thursday edition of Oilers Live. Got Patrick, Oilers fanatic, as my co-host, I guess, tonight. Just the two of us going live tonight. Talk a little bit of hockey, see what the outlook is for Game 3. I don't know. It's going to be a bit of a somber night, I think, but we'll we'll do the best we can and see how we get through it. How you doing, Patrick?
Pretty good today. No Oilers game to deal with today, so that helped. Unfortunately, yeah. Last couple of years, we were at least had a split at this point in time, but being down 2-0 is a situation we haven't been in. Well, I guess since the Stanley Cup Finals last year, but don't like doing it in the first round, though.
Yeah, no. I mean, this is look. I mean, every year, not every year. I mean, for the past 4 years, the Oilers meet up with the LA Kings. Last year, I mean, we were talking, is this the year LA wins? I mean, you got to figure at some point they're going to win. Series is far from over, but down 2 games to nothing. 12 goals in 2 games. We're already got in the chat. Please talk about our coaches' decisions in net. This was exactly, if you recall, what I was worried about.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Like if you had put Skinner or Pickard in net and you lost 6-2, well, you tried something different.
Yeah.
Right? But now you put Skinner in net 6-2, and you can't play Skinner again, at least this series, in my mind. I mean, they might. They might even start him for Game 3.
I don't know how you can. Not after, well, I guess the 12th goal wasn't his, and just the time they put Calvin Pickard in as well with 9 minutes to go, and it was 5-2. That's not going to. They went into the third period in Game 1, I guess, and staged a big comeback, but you kind of had the feeling there was some momentum coming, but there was no momentum at that point in time. They were down 5-2. Stu's already down in the dumps. Just let him play the 9 minutes and start Calvin Pickard fresh in Game 3, because you put Calvin Pickard in there, not really ready to go. And of course, the worst thing that possibly can happen, he lets in a goal on the very first shot. It just made absolutely no sense to me why they put Calvin Pickard in when they did. Just let Stewart finish that game. I mean, the game is lost at that point, and just move on and start fresh in Game 3. That decision was completely puzzling to me.
Yeah. Yeah, there's just I'm rarely speechless, as you know. There's just so many. I mean, and look, we're starting on goaltending, but there's so many other things.
Yeah, no, there is.
There are so many other things, right? Some strangers in the chat. It's not so much we're down 2-0. It's how they've been playing so far. It's definitely worrisome.
Yeah.
I've always been of the feeling, right or wrong, though, that if you don't have faith in your goaltender, you play a different style of game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's accurate. I mean, I can't tell you if that's accurate at the NHL level. I've never played, but I can tell you that's accurate at any level I've played. Right? Like if you play a different style because you don't want the other team to get a shot, even
Yeah.
then it affects your overall game.
Well, Skinner just hasn't been able to find a lot of points throughout this year, and definitely through the first two games. Just that one big save. Like we don't demand him to be an elite goaltender. He's not an elite goaltender, but we need him to stop a couple of the ones that he shouldn't stop. And I think it was Jackie who mentioned it in the heavy hockey chat last night. It seemed every high danger chance the Kings got, it was going in. Seemed to be like no ifs, ands, or buts. Like it was going to be a goal, and the Oilers just need more. But as you said, like it's not just the goaltending. You don't lose two games the way they did, giving up 6 goals, and it's just all in the goaltending because the Oilers were playing incredible in front of them. Like right on down, top to bottom, this is a total team collapse here.
Yeah, I mean that just sums it up, right? Like it's a total team collapse. You can't blame it just on the goaltending, but that's part of it, right?
For sure.
Be better, and you have an option. That's the thing about goaltending, I guess we talk about, right?
Yeah.
You have an option, uh, and we haven't used it. Well, we used it, but
Not in the right way, not in a smart way, in my opinion, anyway.
yeah. So we go into the next game, right? I don't know what. I mean, let's. Was there a rundown today? Did you do a rundown?
I didn't know. I did after the game last night. I pretty much didn't have anything new to say, and they were traveling today, so we didn't get any news on any potential changes. So I didn't really have anything new to say to add on to what I had already said in my rundown last night. I was really disappointed with how Calvin Pickard was brought in, and I mean, the way they started game 2 was so much better, but they needed to get an early goal, and the power play, among other things, is failing them right now. The penalty kill especially too as well. They just can't get the Kings figured out here, and the team really needed an early goal and an early save, and they didn't get either one. The Kings got the momentum, and the Oilers never really got it back. They got it to 3-2, and then I think it was Henrique who took a penalty there, and the Kings score on it 4-2, and the game's gone again. I mean, they're not getting any breaks, but they're not working to get those breaks either.
I thought they had a decent first period.
Yeah, that's like I liked the first period, but yeah.
I mean, that's and look, like as I said, like I was happy to have. Draisaitl doesn't look 100%. He looked good the first game, but he kind of had that like playing injured type of look to him last night. And geez, I don't know. I mean, look, I mean, Lotzi's talked about it, right? He's, one of the concerns was how many of these guys are already playing injured, and we're, 2 games in, right? Kane's back for his first game. He looked, subpar. He didn't look like a top 6 winger, I'll tell you that.
No.
Right?
No, well, he tried to have an impact early, and that resulted in him taking a penalty.
Yeah.
Right away. And maybe it was a bit of a soft call. I mean, it looked like I can't remember the Kings player he hit, but it turned a little bit at the last moment. But regardless, it ended up being a little bit more dangerous than it looked like, I think. But
yeah, Rediscovery Records says Leon looked frustrated, and I think, I think Leon's are hurt, right? Like the times he's been hurt in his career, we don't see that same shot from him. We see a different shot. We see like he's such a smart player, but right now he's playing stationary and just being a smart player, which this Kings team is too good for that, right? Like if we're playing the San Jose Sharks, then great. Like he tried to make one like hero pass, backhand pass from the Oilers zone in the corner and through the slot.
Yeah, like yeah. And those are the kind of passes that he was making earlier in his career that would frustrate everybody. Like, stop trying that Like, you're an amazing passer, but don't go for a hope pass where it has to go through 4 different sets of legs to reach the other guy. Like, odds are, I don't care how good of a passer you are, 9 times out of 10, that puck isn't going to make it to where you want it to go. And he seemed to get away from that. But yeah, I think he looks tired, injured. I mean, he's not making the same smart decisions that he would normally make. And he still looks good, but just not at the same level he was at earlier this year.
Yeah, no, he's. I mean, I'd wager a easy bet that he's playing with some injuries bugging him,
Oh, for sure.
hampering him. I mean, we're being a little maybe unfair on this team, and that in terms of like I think there's some injuries there that they basically hobbled into the playoffs this year, which is not a good sign, right? You want to hobble out of the playoffs, not in.
Mm-hmm.
And sure, Knobloch and the team tried to rest everybody as much as possible, but Wallman, I don't think was exactly ready to play. Kane obviously not. Frederick just doesn't seem ready.
Yeah.
And then there's coaching decisions, which I don't think it's fireable, but I question some of them, right? Like and well, anytime teams losing, you always question coach decisions, but
Well, winning cures everything. So
yeah, winning does cure everything. And look, the series not over. We come home. Oilers come home. They got 2 games at home, Friday, Sunday. They can put something together. I think unless if you've heard otherwise, I think you have to start Pickard in that on Friday.
Yeah, they haven't announced anything, but I don't see how. Like last podcast, we were speculating, but I don't think there can be any speculation. I think it has to 100% be Calvin Pickard. I just can't see how they can go back to Stuart Skinner after those 2 games, losing in the fashion that they have. I mean, 12 goals in 2 games. 11 of them on Skinner, but that's still 11 goals in 2 games. Like, you have to go to your other goalie.
Yeah. I mean, good goalies don't do that.
No.
It doesn't matter how bad the defense is.
Yeah.
Good goalies don't let in 11 goals over 2 games.
And the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Somebody mentioned Montembeault.
Yeah.
Like, he's been peppered.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's sticking in there. He's making the saves, right? And like really what, everything that goes, like goalie starts to play well and it gets into the head of the players. Skinner's not in anybody's head. Like that second or third goal was Byfield when he gets the puck out front. Skinner wasn't like, I know it's 1-on-1, but by the time Byfield shot the puck to the top corner, Skinner was on the other side of the net. Like, it wasn't even like that was all open net. And look, like, he's not in anybody's head because he's not good enough right now.
No, I think everybody's in his head.
Yeah, that's exactly. Did you see the smile on his face?
Yeah.
At one point, like, it was more of like that sort of crazed smile than it was, a confident smile.
Oh no, there's no way he has any confidence whatsoever right now, and that's probably, even for his own sake, it'd be better just let him sit a game and maybe have a couple days off at least. I mean, and they're mentioning in the chat they're bringing Jeff Skinner back in. I think Skinner definitely has to come back into the lineup here. Somebody
and I'm all right with him in for Frederick. I think Frederick's been ineffective. Yeah. And that's not anything to say about Frederick. I mean, the guy hasn't played for half a season, and I don't think he's oh man, Angel's back. Angel, by the way, is a hardcore Kings fan. Haven't seen him for half a season. Angel's a good guy, one of the good Kings fans. And there are a few, I guess, but not a surprise to see him in here after Kings go up 2-0. We got to be feeling good. I'm sure.
Got to be really happy right now.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the Oilers are struggling, but the Kings have looked fantastic. Like the LA Kings are firing on all cylinders. I don't want to. We're knocking on the Oilers quite a bit, but you got to give the Kings their props as well. The Kings have been fantastic
Yeah.
so far.
Let's talk about this. The Oilers did come back the first game.
Yeah, I guess they did, but
They did
they
come
played
back
one
the
good
first
period.
game.
But
Played one good period, but it was
Yeah.
good. Like
Yeah.
it was really good. So they can do it.
Mhm.
They didn't capitalize on the fact that they put some doubt in the Kings' heads, right? Yeah. I mean, it's just been such a non-Oilers series.
Mhm.
You know, it's like, hey, look, the other thing is, I don't think we talked about this. I don't think the way the officiating has been helping the Oilers game. I'm not blaming officiating, but I also don't think it helps the Oilers. Like this is how they coach, or how they officiate playoff games. Full
Yeah.
stop. The only call that I honestly hate in two games was the very first penalty. Sets the tone, and it was just awful.
Yeah.
But the rest of them, look, the Oilers are taking stupid penalties. When they're taking penalties, they've been stupid penalties. I know there's not many of them that I like. I wouldn't argue the Kane one for sure. Like that
No.
was a penalty, right?
Yeah.
We would have been screaming for that. But I do think that the officiating's letting the clutch and grab go. There's one point where I remember watching Fogle with one full arm draped over, I think it was McDavid. And I'm thinking like, it wasn't even a thing. Like we're going back to 80s, 80s style hockey, which doesn't fit into the Oilers game. But it's playoff officiating, so you can't complain. It's got to go both ways. Oilers got to do it a little bit smarter.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
Like,
and they're
yeah.
playing into the Kings' hand too with
Absolutely.
the undisciplined penalties they're taking, and with how the Kings' power play is red hot right now, you just can't be taking those penalties.
How do you feel about McDavid going on a PK? You like that strategy?
Well, it doesn't seem to be working very well so far.
No.
I mean, I
Though
think
he did have one
Yeah.
nice little
yeah,
rush.
but I would take him back off. Like it doesn't seem to be working. Like the Kings are scoring pretty much at will on the power play, and that's more minutes that Connor McDavid needs to be playing if he's on the penalty kill. And with how often the Oilers are finding themselves on the penalty kill right now, I think you're just going to be playing Connor too much. You got to keep him in reserve, especially. I mean, we think he's okay. He seems to be okay, but he's going to need help from other people. So yeah, you can't. I wouldn't be putting him on the penalty kill anymore. My personal opinion, anyway.
Yeah, no, I mean,
Unless you want to put him like on towards the end or something when you're trying to maybe get like the last 20 seconds or something, and maybe start something like they do with it 4-on-4 and stuff like that. But I wouldn't definitely be putting him on there for a large portion of time.
yeah. Look, let's do round the league right now. Let's talk a little bit of non-Oilers hockey for a couple minutes. We'll get back at it. Scores tonight: Wild beating up on the Golden Knights for the second straight game.
Yeah,
Looking
that's
like
surprising.
that one's in the third. Blues doing what the Blues can do at home. 3-0 for the Blues tonight.
Yeah.
Panthers beating the Lightning 2-0. Talk about offense going away. Like that's, it's not 11 goals in 2 games, but it's what Panthers won 7-2 the other night. Was it?
Something like that. Yeah. 6-2, 7-2. Yeah.
6-2, yeah. So, 8 goals in 2 games. I mean, that's not Lightning style hockey, and 2 goals only for the Lightning in 2 games.
Although the Panthers did lose Barkov tonight, didn't they? To a injury there at the end of the game. I thought I heard it was
The
Barkov.
Panthers did?
Yeah, I thought so.
Oh, maybe. I hadn't heard that. That's one I haven't got into 100%. Maple Leafs. I mean, the Senators, I think, have done everything they can to win. There's a team that is just not getting enough goaltending, I think. And it's not like they're letting in lots of goals from the Leafs. It's just the ones they are letting in, like they're not getting that save. And on the Maple Leaf side, what's his name? Stolars has been making the saves he's need to make.
Mhm.
I feel like Ottawa's been in that series. I've been watching it. Like,
Well, the last 2 games have gone to overtime. I mean, yeah, overtime could go either way. Like Toronto's fortunate to be up 3-0, but that series could easily be 2-1 Ottawa right now if they get the overtime goals.
I mean, don't tell that to a Leafs fan.
No, the Leafs are playing well, but I mean that series could go like it's not a dominating 3-0 series lead when 2 games go to overtime.
Yeah, no, it's not. And did you see the Marner pass to Matthews in the side of the net there?
Oh, I didn't, but no. I
Oh,
didn't see
okay.
the
Well,
highlights
if you
yet.
got
I
a chance,
saw they won. Yeah.
if you're on, and I hate to point out a nice highlight, but absolutely sublime. It was just a sweet little pass by Marner out front to Matthews.
Future Edmonton Oiler, Mitch Marner.
Yeah, that's right. Future Edmonton Oiler, Mitch Marner. We could use him right now, I'll tell you.
Well, somebody's got to get that Mikko Rantanen money that didn't go.
Oh, there you go. JP says wouldn't be surprised if Barkov is out 1 or 2 for concussion protocol.
Yeah, it looked like a pretty nasty hit into the boards there. So
yeah, that's crazy. In the other series, Caps beating up on the Canadians. I actually Montembeau's been amazing. Talking about goaltending.
Mhm.
Not like I took the Canadians actually in this because I thought Montembeau would be the difference maker, but then I'm watching this series and the Canadians are just like they look like miniature compared to the Caps. Like they're just so much smaller. It's not a playoff team. Like they're not built for the playoffs.
No, well, like I said, when we were doing our round 1 like preview, like I think the Canadians making the Stanley Cup playoffs was kind of like their win.
Yeah.
That's why I think I picked Washington in 5. Not because like I was trying to knock on Montreal, but it's just like, sometimes some teams when they've been struggling for a long time and you just make the playoffs, I mean, like that's your big accomplishment. If you could do anything from that point on, it's bonus. But
going back to the Bell Center, that's no
Yeah.
joke, right?
No.
Like the fans are crazy there. They want playoff hockey. I mean, it could be different. The Canadians haven't been out of that series.
No,
Like, they've
no,
been in
yeah,
it.
like
Yeah,
it's same as the Oilers series, right? It's 2-0 LA, but if the Oilers win a couple at home, then we got a brand new series. Right?
But the size mismatch.
Yeah,
Like it's not like they don't when Wilson carries the puck, it's like a couple guys like clenched around his neck trying to like hold him back, and he just skates like it's nothing. Size mismatch is just crazy in that one. Lane Hudson, as advertised, though, he's made some sweet little plays. Demidov, maybe a little bit, but Lane Hudson is, he's an all-star. He's definitely.
Well, what we have to do is get Quinn Hudson really happy here in Edmonton, and then
That's right.
get Lane over here. He'll
That's
I'll
right.
only play with my brother. Pull like the Quinn Hughes in Vancouver there, and get Lane over here. Then we're set to go.
I love how you, I love how you think. That's great. Yeah. Stars and Avalanche. Stars up by 2. A little bit surprised there. Actually, very surprised. I almost would have thought that one would, and Seguin and Ben, the heroes in Game 3.
Yeah, I thought
games
really
going
the
on.
Avalanche were going to walk all over them with how they've been playing, but hats off to Dallas. I mean, I think we just thought that because they were going in on what was it, a 7 or 8 game losing streak to close out the year, right? So
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's I don't know where that one's going to go. Devils and Hurricanes. That we've talked enough about that.
Yeah. Yeah, that one's over.
Oh, geez. Devils and Hurricanes. There's a snooze fest. I mean, 3 games on tap tomorrow. Caps Canadians, of course, big one at the Bell Center. I'll have to see. I do think the Canadians can pull out 1 or 2 wins there. They'd be at home.
It'd be nice, yeah.
Yeah. I always feel like there's always sort of like a point in a series where something happens that just like turns the tides or starts the ball rolling or something like that. And I think Ovechkin scoring the overtime game winner in game 1 was kind of the clincher for the series.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I think the Oilers and Kings had that chance, but then the little rainbow shot goes by Skinner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that game 1 should have been our chance to like at least get a win in so far. So letting that one slip away was frustrating for so many reasons, but we tried to take the positives out of it, but none of those positives really showed up in game 2. So
yeah, I mean, I don't get how you can come to how you can have that game 1 and then come back with that game 2. And I mean, you put in a different lineup though.
Mm-hmm.
You put in a different lineup, and you kept the same goaltender, right? I don't know. It felt a little bit like throwing in the towel. Lottie, look, we used to call him the Oracle a long time ago. He's back to being the Oracle again because everything he's saying is coming to fruition. Let's hope he's wrong about the series. But he said, Oilers are going to come in injured. Talked about that.
Yeah.
And he also didn't think Kane would be as big a difference maker. I thought Landeskog, just the energy that he brought to the game, and that was really good for. Obviously, they didn't win the game, but
yeah,
yeah.
His situation is also different too. Like he's the captain, like he's beloved. I don't think we can say Evander Kane is beloved. I mean, his teammates like him, I'm sure, and everything, but it's not getting the same kind of player back. I don't think.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is so. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, let's in the chat. I mean, what do we got for lines coming in? If you're in the chat tonight, that's at youtube.ca/heavyhockey. Get in the chat, or you can do it on X if you're watching on X. In fact, I think you can chat if you're watching on Twitch as well, or Facebook. Look at that. You can do all the above. We can we'll see the chat. We can respond. Let us know what you think the line should be. We've seen a couple already. We're seeing I think it was JP. I'd have to scroll up a little ways, but JP said I believe it was JP. If I'm wrong, I mean, you can correct me. Yeah, it was. He said Skinner, McDavid, Brown. And I'm all right with that. I mean, that was
the line that was going.
Yeah. Like Brown got back to doing really well, right?
Yeah.
And then but we need and you need something to get Draisaitl moving, right? Like or somebody that's got some wheels, because he just doesn't seem to have the wheels right now. And I do think he's injured. Who'd you put with Draisaitl on line 2 if you had to? And would you do that? Would you do Skinner, McDavid, Brown?
I would, because it was going back to something that was working at the end of the year there. They had some chemistry. We were seeing that probably the best out of Jeff Skinner we'd seen all season long.
Yeah.
I mean, he was given the opportunity where he should have been playing. Probably Hyman down with Draisaitl. And then I think Kane showed he's probably too high up. I probably wouldn't, if Kane stays in the lineup, probably not any higher than the third line for me. Let me glance at the lineup from last game here.
I think Angel's been drinking in the chat. He's asking where Bob the goalie is and Lotzie. Nobody asked for those two. Bob was on a couple of nights ago, Angel, and Lotzie's out. He's probably out on a date. They're doing something tonight.
Oh, probably. Yeah. He's probably got us on in the background, though.
Well, of course he does. Of course,
helping to set the mood.
That's right.
Whoa,
Send
Oilers
them
chat.
listen to the silky sounds of Oilers Live. You betcha. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. I mean, Podkolzin always seems to do well with Draisaitl. Maybe Podkolzin, Draisaitl, Hyman.
Yeah,
your
I mean
second line?
we've seen that line,
Yeah,
right? We've seen that line. Nuge and Arvidsson. Then
Yeah.
you got, and
Yeah.
then who with them? I guess Kane,
yeah, probably
Nuge,
Kane.
Arvidsson, and Kane. A little bit of size for Nuge.
Yeah,
Yeah, and we're gonna
then I
keep
guess we're
Jan
taking him.
Markin
Yeah,
for
Yeah.
his offensive prowess. Well, I guess we forgot about Perry. I mean, you could always do Nuge,
be up there.
Perry, and Arvidsson,
Yeah.
right? Like Perry's been good. He's not been terrible.
Well, he scored a goal too, and
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, you know what you're getting out of him. Like he's been consistent. He's always consistent. He's smart with the play. He does all of the things right. I don't think he's been as involved in getting the other like the Kings riled up as much as I would like to see him. But that's what happens when you put Corey Perry on the top line.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's not his role there. It's not to piss people off. It's to put pucks in the net. Right? It's to be a 20-goal scorer kind of guy. I don't think he's a top line player anymore.
Oh,
but I think he's been good.
Yeah.
Right?
No, he's a fill-in player up there, but
Yeah.
he fills in well. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, look, at the end of the day, I'd love to see Knobloch, get out of this rut. Like, coaches sometimes get in a rut. His rut's Jeff Skinner and Stuart Skinner, right? In how he utilizes the Skinners.
Good thing we didn't have any more Skinners in the lineup.
I know. Like that's just kind of it, right? Like that's the rut.
Yeah.
And he's got to figure that out because look, if they don't win tomorrow night, I mean, series is over, right? Nobody's coming back from 3-0.
No, I can't see with the way LA's been like if the games to this point had been 2-1, 3-2, 4-3, something like that, I'd be more inclined to say, yeah, there's a chance they could win 4 straight. But with LA's just been red hot and they've been dominating, and for the like probably 4 out of 6 periods, they've been the better team. So to say the Oilers would suddenly wake up and win 4 straight, anything's possible, but it's extremely unlikely.
Is the Kings team that much better, or are the Oilers worse this year?
Both. I think with the Oilers, with the situation they're in injury-wise, they're not as fast. They lost a lot of speed, obviously, as we've talked about all year with Holloway, McLeod, those guys leaving. Broberg, well, I guess Broberg wasn't a player in last year's series, but still another guy in the youth. They've got older guys. Injuries is the biggest factor, and I think the Kings have added some key guys. Fogle, Quentin Byfield's taken a huge step this year. Like he's a weapon the Kings really haven't had in the series before. Like Byfield was maybe just starting to come around last year, but he's really flourished this year. And yeah, the Kings are deeper. They have more offensive weapons. I mean, I picked my player on the Kings as the biggest impact player was Adrian Kempe because he just always seems to score big goals in these series, and he's continued that this year. I had a couple more last night, I believe. So Kings are deeper, Oilers are injured, slower. I mean, it's a combination of both.
Yeah. Yeah, the Oilers team looked good. I like, injured for sure.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's playing a big part of it. Obviously, I mean, there's the thing, and it's been said in the chat, Ekholm, right? The, taking Ekholm out of the lineup. I mean, you can't take your biggest D-man out of the lineup with all the minutes that he plays and expect that it's going to be the same team.
Yeah, I can't remember who it was, but someone in the chat last podcast said losing him was massive. I just thought it was a really great comment there. So
somebody
I can't remember who it was, but it was a really smart thing that they mentioned there. So yeah,
I didn't realize
bring that up.
Squatty says, yeah, some really smart people in the chat. Quaddy says score is 7-7 at 5-on-5. I didn't realize that.
Yeah. Well, the Kings have been red hot in the power play. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I mean, and it looks good. Honestly,
Yeah.
I mean, like the Oilers obviously need to make some changes on the PK.
yeah,
But,
Andre Kuzmenko's looked amazing on their power play for them.
Yeah.
He was a
Yeah.
great pickup at the deadline for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Ace 96 is taking credit for it.
Ace, come on. Everyone knows that I'm the only one that figured out Matthias Ekholm was a huge loss. No one else could have figured that out.
Yeah. I mean, it's like that's just some excellent analytics, right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. You mean losing their best defenseman is going to hurt them? Nah, that couldn't be.
Roy Keane in the chat. How much would you give Bouchard for his next contract? We're not
25
there
cents.
Yet. Let's, yeah. We're not there yet. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, there's look. I didn't realize it was 7-7, 5-on-5. That's actually crazy when you think about that. How big of a difference special teams has had.
Yeah. Well, that was the huge advantage the Oilers had last year. Like they scored on almost every power play, and they gave up a 0 on the penalty kill to LA last year. So,
yeah, I mean, and look, talking about Draisaitl, I think being potentially injured, like that makes a huge difference, right?
Yep, for sure.
They've missed, and let's not forget, like Kemper is outstanding.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's been a difference maker.
Yeah, great point by Angel there too. All the Kings running 5 forwards on the power play has been really effective as well. Yeah, for sure.
You're not in the chat tonight. Some stranger says it's because you don't have to listen to anybody. You can do all the talking.
I don't have Bob here stealing my thunder, so
right.
I can just keep the attention on me.
Have you heard anything about Ekholm? Is he out for the playoffs? Is that the?
All we know is that he's out for the first round. It's something pretty serious. My guess was always that it was going to be third round at best.
Yeah.
But that's just, I haven't heard anything definitive on that. That was just my guess that it was going to be, all the impressions I got was that it was really serious. And yeah, I think it was just basically a matter of how far the Oilers can make it. And I always thought it was like, oh, if they could just get through these couple rounds, and then you're almost having like another trade deadline edition, getting Matthias Ekholm like in the third round or something like that. But looks like we could really use him in the first round right now.
Yeah, absolutely. We could use something in the first round. I don't know. I'm wondering. It's just frustrating, right? As a fan watching this, I'll be honest, I didn't really watch the last 10 minutes of the game. It was over. I think telling as well was, I'm pretty sure it was the Byfield goal, and they cut away to McDavid and the look on his face.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, they showed both of them on the bench a couple times, Draisaitl and him. Yeah, I mean, I would hope they're frustrated. I mean, like I don't know how you couldn't be frustrated at this point.
But it felt like goalie frustration.
Yeah.
You're just needing a save, right? And that's not, I don't care. I don't care what anybody thinks. Like it's like you have to, at least at some point, you need your goaltender to be better than I guess 11 goals in 2 games.
Yeah. Well, that's why I said, like, we were speculating on Stuart Skinner last podcast, but I mean, it has to be 100% definitive. Calvin Pickard has to start game 3. I don't think you can question that at all. I don't know how, in what world, you could possibly go back to Stuart Skinner again.
Does this now? I hate to go here. I'm not going,
but you will.
But yeah, you know what? I will. Ace 96 brings it up. Yes, in 1 week, the media question will be: does McDavid stay, and why would he? I mean, I could think of one reason why he'd stay. Leon Draisaitl.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and I feel like this series in some ways has been a little bit unfair to the Oilers. Like in terms of like we could say all the things we want to say, but it's an injured team. Like there's no denying that. I said it before, they're hobbling into the playoffs. Most of the time you want to hobble out of the playoffs. This team is injured going in. They're playing injured players, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, guys that haven't played for most of the season. Frederick, Kane, who didn't play the whole season. Draisaitl didn't play the last, 10 games.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
McDavid finally looks healthy, but he can't do it all on his own. Wallman was injured at least for game one, playing injured, right? Missing out on Ekholm. That's 6 guys. It's a big part of the lineup. And then you're playing against a team that's more or less healthy.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the biggest factor. And also Connor's own play, like he didn't have a bad year by any stretch of the imagination, but it was, I don't know, subpar is the right word, but to what he's done in the past, it wasn't the best year for him either. So it's not like the Oilers gave it their all this year and they just didn't have it and they were losing badly game after game. They still, with everything they faced this year, finished in 3rd place in the division, which isn't terrible. And all the injuries they're facing right now. So I don't see how any player could be like, oh, this team. I mean, if you want to go back, this is what, year 10 of McDavid, if past how they screwed up maybe in other past years, but I don't see how you could focus on this year and say, man, this team, I'm out of here because of this season. I don't think you can really base any decisions on how this past season has gone with everything that's worked against them this year and how they still persevered and still finished in 3rd place.
Yeah. Klingberg looked good again, but another injury. Guy comes back from injury, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he finished the season on LTIR, right?
Yeah.
Oh man, like just the list goes on for this team. I hate to make excuses for them, but they have to score first. I feel like that's got to be, you joked about putting Rodriguez. I mean, do something, whatever. Right now, anything like you change what you have to do. Right, like I know you joked. It's a joke, but whatever.
It was just based on that first shot going in.
The Oilers have to do something different. I'm all right with starting the game with Draisaitl and McDavid, maybe Hyman, or Nuge. Even throw the 3 of them out there to start the game, and Bouchard and I don't know, Bouchard and Wallman. On the D, like score that first goal, whatever you have to do. Clutch, grab, score, right? Like it's got to be
get the momentum.
Don't take a penalty.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. Scoring that first goal is huge. And I know Lotzi did that article a few weeks back on how McDavid and Draisaitl obviously really play well together and they really click well together. But I'm just of the belief that like that's got to be like you don't go to your nuclear option to start. Like that's got to be it's called the nuclear option for a reason. We don't start wars and everybody fires their nuclear weapons first. That's
I think the first goal is so important.
Yeah.
Right now,
yeah,
right?
no, like score that first goal, like have them together, like maybe for the first 3-4 shifts of the game, and then put them each on their own line and give your team a more balanced attack. Like I just don't like having Connor and Leon together, especially in the playoffs for like shift after shift after shift. You want to put them together on the power play, put them together 4-on-4. Those situations, fine, but I think it's better to have more of a balanced attack, have them on separate lines.
Yeah, I'm all right with that. Like I'm all right with that. I just think you start
Yeah.
them Start
No,
them
yeah, I
off.
get where you're going
In
with
fact,
yeah.
they had a good first shift, I thought. Right? Like
Yeah.
it set the tone for a good first period for the Oilers. It just didn't work out in their favor. Late penalty kill or a late power play goal, right? Like
Yeah. Well, there was a chance by Hyman like really early that he doesn't usually miss on those. Like if that Hyman shot goes in, like that could have changed the whole complexion of that game. I mean, but like I said, they needed an early goal and they didn't get it. So I would not be shocked if game 3 they come out guns blazing, they score in the first minute. Would not be shocked at all.
yeah, they haven't been particularly great at scoring first goals, though.
No, they haven't. But if
Uh,
you need something to drive you, you're down 2-0, get it going.
Look, we're at the midway part here tonight. Name Cardinals in the chat. I'm his biggest fan, so appreciate him coming into the chat and talking. His first comment tonight: "I still believe."
Yep.
How do you feel? Like, are you in the believer category? Like, you still like you believe this team's got it in them, or are you have you in your head you're just like, yeah, like I hope they can do it, but I'm counting them out. How are you feeling?
They got to win game 3. Game 3 is a must win. But if they win game 3, then I think they can slowly start to turn the momentum and probably, if they can get something going, take it in 6 or 7. But they've like game 3 is absolute must win. If they lose game 3, I don't see them winning 4 straight. It's over, in my opinion. But I'm of the belief that like how the saying goes, like you haven't really lost a series or whatever until you lose at home.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm 100%. Yeah. I think game 3 is if they can win, tomorrow night, then I'm all right with that, right?
Yeah.
Like you got to start somewhere. I don't even know if you got to win convincingly. You just got to
No,
win.
just win. Just win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You get the win under your belt. If they can, take both at home, it's a brand new series. And if any team could do it, it's the Oilers. They can get hot. We saw it last year in the finals. Everybody counted them out. I counted them out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you did, but I sure did. I thought, man, it's going to be a quick series and game after. In fact, I counted them out until they got to game 7, and then I actually started to get pretty damn excited about it.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, I think after they won game 5 and made it 3-2, like I was fully invested. I'm like, they're taking game 6, and like, and I really thought they could do it, and they almost did. I mean, they lost game 7 2-1.
Yeah,
it wasn't like they got blown out in game 7 or anything like that. So
it was crazy. It was crazy. I mean, we've got a little ways to go before we can get excited about that. But they, like you said, right? Like you just you go into game 3. I don't know if I'm in the believer category, but I'm not in the non-believer category. Let's put it that way.
yeah. Well, yeah, like I'm not super pumped, filled with confidence, but I'm of the belief they can still win this series. Like I don't think the Kings would be if the Oilers are up 2-0 right now. I don't think the Kings would be saying, "Oh, we're done. There's no hope of winning this series." Like if any team, like you come home, you're down 2-0, you win game 1 or game 3, 2-1. It's a brand new series.
Yeah, it is a brand new series. It's this Ace 96 says last year I said if any team can come back, it's the Oilers. Last year's team was far better than this one. I don't know if I'd go with far better. I just don't think we've seen this team this year. We did
healthier.
see them healthier. Healthier is maybe the best way to look at it. Like I think, there was a stretch from late October until January where this was one of the best teams in the league.
Yeah.
Right? Like this was this team has it in them to win games, to win hockey games. They were fighting for we thought, in fact, there was a point in the season in which we thought they were finally taking home a division win.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
right?
they were the best team in the league. Yeah, like you were saying there for a stretch. And they had I think it was a good like 5 or 6 point lead on Vegas for first place. But then injuries really hit, and then they were struggling. And they slipped down, but like I just think it's impressive with everything they faced. They still got third place, and they're still in the position they're in. Like, so yeah, if they were healthy, like I know it's easy to say they looked better last year. Of course they did. Like the last 2 years before this, they finished the second half of the season on absolute tears. Like they looked like the best team in the league in the second half the last couple of years before this one. So gives you a lot more confidence in that respect too.
Yeah. Some stranger says, even if they can get past the first round, how far can they go? I mean, like right now, Minnesota's up 4-2 in the third period, 2 minutes left. Knights are on a power play. It's looking, pretty good for a 2-1 series lead. I mean, that's lots of series left to go. But if the Oilers play Minnesota, I actually feel good about that matchup. The Oilers playing Vegas, I mean, who knows, right?
Mm-hmm.
That one's going to be that would be good if they get past the first round. Obviously, they still need to do that. Yeah, I think that this team with this team, when they get on a roll, as we saw in the third period in game one, like they're close to unstoppable. Like McDavid, Draisaitl playing top notch hockey is just too hard for anybody to play against.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they have it in them.
Right? Well, if they get, with how they've struggled so far, if they get past LA, that's going to fill this team with a ton of confidence, and then like that can be a huge catalyst right there. Like going back to the last time they won the Stanley Cup, like they were down in 1990 round one, obviously completely different team, but down 3-1 to the Winnipeg Jets, and they come back, win 3 straight, take that series 4-3, and that was probably the catalyst to get them going through the 1990 Stanley Cup playoffs. So hopefully we don't fall down 3-1 to the Kings and have to win 3 straight. But if they can get past LA, that could be a catalyst with some confidence. And that means the guys are probably clicking. And because we have to remember too, with all these injuries, like they're not used to playing with each other. I think the power play was where we saw it come glaringly through the most. Like I think the Kings or the Oilers cleared the puck themselves like over 4 or 5 times in the first couple of games. Like the Kings weren't even having to clear the zone when the Oilers were on the power play. They were missing the puck and it was going out of the zone. Like that just can't happen.
Yeah. No, it's there's just so many inconsistencies with how the team's playing right now.
Mm-hmm.
Some stranger says, who do they let go and or bring back next year? I don't want to talk about this right now. Like, I don't want to talk about how much they signed Bouchard for. I want to see how game 3 goes.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
I want to see what happens. Like, the thing is there's still a lot of series left. The Oilers are down by 2. Game 2 was horrendous. Like that may be the worst playoff game they've played in the last 4 seasons. Other than the first period. Like the Oilers have got to put together 2 periods of hockey.
Yeah.
Have to. Absolutely have to.
And I think keeping the Kings, I'd say at least 3 goals or less. Probably 2 or less in game 3. Like they got to get it like a really strong goaltending performance from Calvin Pickard or Stewart. I just can't, like, I don't know how you could possibly go back to it. It's got to be Calvin Pickard. I mean, Chris Knobloch's made some decisions that I don't know how he could have possibly come to that answer in his head, but maybe he has some thought process that would see Stuart Skinner start game 3, but I can't see it.
I feel like just don't think that the team can feel confident with him back in the net.
Yeah, well, just for a new look in some way, you got to change it up. Even if you like, oh, we still believe in you, Stu, all that stuff. Like, just for momentum change, you got to change it up.
Yeah, absolutely. Final score: Minnesota Wild 5, Golden Knights 2. That series 2-1 now for Minnesota. And I was thinking that might have been a sweep, but the other way around.
Yeah. I think we called it a sweep, didn't we? I can't
We
remember
might
now.
have called it a sweep. We also
Yeah.
called it one of the most boring series, but 5 goals. I
Yeah.
mean, they look, Kaprizov, if he wants, can be a really dynamic player, right? Like, and fun to watch. Matt Boldy, I mean, that's their top scorer. It just that's why I didn't think they'd, against this Golden Knights team that's got Eichel and Stone and some really good D, and yeah, I mean, I'm surprised, right? I'm surprised.
Well, Ace thinks it's going to be Skinner again. But
Like he says, Knob will be fired in a short time. I think, like, look, if you start Skinner, like, there's just no way. But like, how do you? I'm still baffled that they started him for game 2. I just didn't think it was a win situation,
no, yeah, you
right?
explained it perfectly.
Yeah. And it turned out to be too true, right? Like, it turned out to be, and and now we're in the situation we're in. Like, the Oilers needed the split. Los Angeles Kings are, they are a better team. The Oilers can play better, I think. Angel's in the chat, but he might disagree, but I think the Oilers are the better team.
Yeah,
But
healthy
they're not
lineup
playing
against
that
healthy
way.
lineup. I think they're the better
Yeah.
team, but it's not that way right now.
No, it's definitely not that way. Your thoughts. Here's something I want, and if you're in the chat, I'm curious about this too. We've heard people use the term entitled. We've heard lack of effort. We've heard things of that nature when talking about the Oilers team. What's your thought on that? Like, do you think, like, because I've always had a little bit of a challenge when somebody says stuff like that. Like, these guys are NHL players; they want to play, right? They want to win. You can't tell me that like, any of these guys stepped out onto the ice in game 1 or game 2 and felt like entitled that they were going to win this series, especially how they came into the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't know how you could have possibly thought you were going to walk all over the LA Kings, and with how the Kings played them in the regular season as well, and the Kings record at home, and I mean, you could probably point to certain points during the regular season where but I mean, that's anybody. The players are human at the end of the day. I mean, we don't all go into work every single day and give our absolute best and look like we're the best employee every single day. Like, no one does, but come playoff time, like, they care. And I think Chris Knobloch fell into this trap too. And I think it's some of the things where everyone in the lineup needs to feel valued. And when you play the crap out of McDavid and Draisaitl and give them the vast majority of the ice time, you don't put guys in opportunities to succeed. And a guy like Jeff Skinner, he kept a positive attitude all year long, always looked happy. But I mean, he would score a goal and then be out of the lineup the next night. It's like, I mean, he's not there just to score. He's got to do the little things as well. But I think we saw improvements on all those little things. So I think it's maybe I would go at it from that angle where everyone on the team, I think, needs to be. I mean, we know McDavid and Draisaitl are the two best players on this team, but I think everyone else needs to feel like they're contributing. They're not just bystanders on the team. And so I think that's what we might have seen. I mean, I don't think we've in the playoffs so far. I think it's injuries have been the biggest factor, and guys haven't played in forever, and the chemistry isn't there with guys that have been in and out of the lineup. And I mean, you can't, like, Trent Frederick, he's played like what before the playoffs, like 9 minutes for the Oilers. Like, you'd have a little bit of time in practice, but he's not used to playing with the guys or where they're going to be or his timing and all that kind of stuff. So I think injuries are the biggest factor right now, but I think it's just finding a role for everybody in the regular season.
Yeah. I mean, that's I guess you summed it up perfectly, right? Like there's no, and I think a lot of people in that, it sounds like a lot of people in the chat agree. Like it's not about lack of effort. I think they're there. There's guys, some stranger says Rico and Nuge need to step up. I think there are guys that need to step up. They need to do, I think that's,
Yeah.
you can.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying everyone's played perfectly or anything, but I'm just saying,
Guys that need to be better.
Yeah.
And we talked about it. We've talked about it all game, like or all night. There's been guys that, some coaching decisions need to be better. What do you think about Roxy Mama talking about signing Klingberg? And Frederick was just a gamble, but I thought Klingberg was one of the better guys on the offense last game.
Yeah, Klingberg, I think it looked good last game. As far as the signing, I think they were trying to see if they could get their top 4 guy without having to give up huge assets at the trade deadline and maybe utilize those assets at the trade deadline differently. Didn't work out that way. They still had to give up a first-round pick to get Jake Wallman. So I think it was a gamble. The gamble didn't entirely work out, but it gives them at least a depth guy to add to the lineup here. But again, just like everybody else on the team, he ran into injury issues. So I can see arguments for and against it, but I could see what the Oilers also were trying to do, right?
Yeah. I mean, they and look, like the cap's been an issue for them for a while. We know that. And it's going to be when you have 2 superstars in your lineup, like cap's always going to be an issue, right? Like McDavid and Draisaitl are not going to get, they're not taking that much of a pay cut to play in Edmonton.
No.
Or any of a pay cut.
Nor should they.
No, and they shouldn't. They've earned it. Like they've been exciting to watch, and it's been a lot of fun.
Well, and they owe it to like the league in general and stuff, and to other players. Like other players want them to ask for big money because it means more money for them. Like when you're at the top, it's partly like, I mean, you can call it greed, but it's also their responsibility to set the standard for what players are getting and stuff, right? So everyone takes like little discounts here and there, and you can definitely say 14 million was a little bit of a discount, but he certainly could have got more. But yeah, they got to set the standard as well.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, we're on the last half hour here. Let's talk about players. We talked about Rico and Nuge need to step up. If this team's going to come back from a deficit of 2, and I love that when we always talk about the Oilers, we gotta say, not talking about McDavid or Draisaitl. Like I always think they, even Draisaitl on a bad night contributes more than any other player. McDavid on a bad night does, right? Like they, who do the Oilers need to count on? If the, for this series to change. Like who are the players? Pardon me, or who's the player that needs to step up, be better, do different things?
They need it. Yeah, I mean, we've said it's not all on the goaltending, but goaltending keeping it to at least 3 goals or less in Game 3, I think is going to be crucial. I think ideally 2 or less. Guys like Hyman and Nuge. I mean, Hyman's usually been an excellent playoff performer for the Oilers, so he could come through with a big game. Maybe one of the veteran guys like Adam Henrique getting a couple goals, and Roxy Mama, I'd mention Henrique there as well. Pick your guy here, like Connor Brown. Like maybe if we see Brown, Skinner, and McDavid put back together there, we get a big game from Connor Brown. Like we definitely got to see that line back together. I think Skinner, McDavid, Brown, and I think that line could be a huge difference maker for the team. But those kind of guys, anyway.
Yeah, Chase says Arvidsson needs to stay on his skates.
That'll help. Yeah.
That might help. Yeah,
Yeah.
sliding around. I like this. Some stranger says Nurse and Bouchard.
Yeah.
Look, 100%. Right. Like I've actually game 1 I wasn't upset with Nurse. Game 2 I wasn't as thrilled.
Wow.
Like Nurse has played a lot of minutes, and I always think that when he plays more minutes, he's not as effective.
Mhm.
He is a good, like really good second line deep pairing guy. He can't be relied on to carry the team, and he certainly can't be relied on to carry Bouchard.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Nurse and Bouchard have to be better. Bouchard definitely has to be better, right? Like if he's not contributing offensively, and he hasn't been great on the power play this year. Like there's no concern. What I liked about Klingberg, and they even talked about it in the broadcast, is getting pucks through to the net.
Oh, that pass to Draisaitl on Draisaitl's goal was fantastic. Like that was a beautiful feed. I mean, that's part of the reason he was here. Like, I think we joked back when they signed him, like, because Bouchard was really struggling. Like, why not give John Klingberg a shot on the power play? Because he could definitely be a power play quarterback. Not that he's going to steal Bouchard's job there, but
yeah, you got to have something different.
Yeah.
So I like the Nurse and Bouchard thing. I like that. Obviously, goaltending's got to be better, but that comes along with Nurse and Bouchard playing really good minutes, right? I think especially you need it because I still believe Wallman's not playing 100%.
Yeah.
And who do you have? Like Kulak's been solid, but he plays. Kulak does what Kulak does, right? Game after game after game, especially in the playoffs. Yeah.
Well, as we saw, like, what was it, 7-7, 5-on-5. So discipline is going to be a massive factor in Game 3. Stay out of the penalty box. Like, there's going to be some calls you probably can't avoid, but avoid the ones that you can. Don't take stupid slashing penalties, like needless penalties that you don't need to take at inopportune times.
Yeah, that's got to be big. Having a home team, home game, that's going to be big, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, and it's there's no exceptional analysis to this, but the team has to win Game 3.
Oh yeah, it's like I said, yeah, it's got to be. I don't see how they win 4 straight. They got to take Game 3.
Yeah, and score
6-1 Blues. Wow,
is that what the final tally is?
Yeah, it's Quaddy saying there in the chat there.
Oh yeah, 6-1. Whew. Jeez, Jets could use a goaltender.
Yeah. Well, my buddy's Jack is a big St. Louis Blues fan, so he'll be happy.
Oh yeah. We had Jeff Ponder write a article for us from Let's Go Blues Radio. Great friends of the show, friends of heavy hockey for sure. I think Ponder will write a few different articles. Maybe he'll get in on the Blues as they go down that path. We'd like some, more extra content on heavyhockey.com. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, there's the playoff Hellebuck that we know.
Yeah. I mean, he had one good game so far out of 3, so that's it's crazy. I don't like that's a mystery, isn't it? I mean, Hellebuck, yeah, it's definitely a mystery.
Fantastic regular season goalie, but doesn't seem to have it come playoffs.
Yeah. All right. I know we've officially got 20 minutes left, but I think we're going to wrap this up early tonight. We've kind of exhausted all of the things that are the Oilers. There's a lot of unanswered questions as we go into because it's a travel day. We'll see tomorrow morning what goes on, how it looks. Game 3 of the series happens tomorrow, 8 p.m. Mountain in Edmonton. Oilers taking on the Kings. The rundown, I assume you're going to have a rundown at some point tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll have a look at the lineup and what we kind of find out, and guessing for we'll see a few changes. Well, we
Yeah.
better anyway.
Yeah, well, we've talked about that tonight. I mean, there's lots of changes we want, lots of changes. We'd like to see as fans. The Oilers got a chance, right? Like it's only 2 games, and that's what you always say is it's not a series until the home team loses a game, right?
Yeah.
So there's something to be said about that. I like the stat 7-7 and 5v5.
Hmm.
Yeah, I love that stat. So there's an opportunity, right? Like this is a chance for the Oilers to be disciplined, get in there, take home game, and go into game 4 with a shot at tying the series. That's the chance, right? You can't, I may not watch the game though if Skinner starts. I may, I might just turn it off, put it on PVR, and see, maybe follow the score. If it's good, then I'll watch it from the start.
Yeah. Well, like I said, like I could see how he could start game 2. Like I didn't agree with it, but I could see how they could go back to him. I can't see any way, like I've mentioned a few times, how they can go back to him for game 3. So I will be absolutely floored if they start Skinner for game 3.
Yeah. All right, let's wrap it up. Thanks everybody. We're actually really good crowd tonight. Lots of good people in the chat tonight. I guess you get the last word, Patrick, because you're the only guest of the show tonight. So
Lack
that's
of
nice.
options.
Yeah, lack of options. I'd try to get. Maybe we can get somebody to join in.
Yeah.
No, it's Oilers down 2-0. We all know that. There's going to be it's going to be an interesting third game, I think. And the Oilers, I believe the Oilers need to score first, get in there.
Yeah.
We need to. We just need we need some good coaching decisions. We need the right personnel. Team needs to fight through it, right? Hopefully we see Draisaitl play his best game of the series. I'd like to see the defense come back and do the things they need to do, specifically Nurse, specifically Bouchard. That's all I got. Like this is, we're going to find out tomorrow night. We'll be back. I think we'll be back Saturday night. I don't know if you can join Patrick, but we'll probably do a Saturday night, same time, same place. Like, subscribe, do all those things. Helps us build the channel. Actually, we've, the channel had great growth this year. We'd love more. Angel, good to see you back. Name, Chase, Some Stranger, Roxy Mama, all the guys, JP. Everybody, thanks for being in the chat tonight. I'm going to pass it off to Patrick for the last word, and also make sure you tune in, whether Patrick says it or not, to Oilers Fanatic on YouTube tomorrow for the rundown. All right, it's all yours. I'm on mute. You know the drill.
Thank you, Michael. Yeah, just to echo Michael's thoughts there, thank you to everybody in the chat. Angel, great to meet you. Great to have like a wide base of different fan bases here in the chat here. I think it adds to the conversation for sure. And yeah, I think Oilers discipline tomorrow night, goaltending, defense, keeping the Kings to ideally 2 or less, at worst 3, score some goals, get that first goal like Michael said. And yeah, you can check out my channel, The Oilers Fanatic, on YouTube, at Oilers Fanatic YT on social media. And between here and Heavy Hockey, we'll keep you up to date on everything Edmonton Oilers. Have a great night, everybody.